Hey everyone, welcome to our champion tier list. I'm EricL.
And I'm Shehanigans.
So yeah, we both made a tier list for the 24 champions, and are coming together with no prior knowledge of what our tier list was before, and now we're gonna smash them together and see what falls out.
So this is just kind of like a fun, almost learning exercise we're going to be doing because we're going to rank our champions basically super early in the format, and then it'll be super interesting to see how things shake out as we move on the road to nationals and see what this tier list looks like. You know, when all that money's on the line, when we're at the I guess world championships, I guess universal championships.
Yeah, it's 3 months. I'm curious to see how this tier list will change by then.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, let's start. We're gonna go alphabetically. So we're gonna start with Alta. So Shehanigans, where do you have Alta?
All right. So Alta is kind of a really sweet champion. Love her awareness, love swift speed, access to the forward and far forward. She has solid aura and health as well. So like all of this comes together to be B tier for me. Like she's not doing anything kind of crazy or nuts, but it's just a solid array of stats. You could probably build a reasonable deck with her kind of no matter what. B tier.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I put her as A.
Okay.
And like you were basically just saying, she's got good abilities, good stats, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds like A. Like I think that the champion itself is very strong, and then at least the decks that I've seen that I've built with her can really pile on some damage pretty quickly. And I think for me, A tier is our champions that can do something very effectively, and I think Alta can do that. And
okay.
Obviously S tier is completely broken, so.
Well, okay, I'm happy to put Alta in A tier. She's definitely higher in the B tier for me. So I'm fine with A tier. Just splitting the difference. So,
all right. All right, we'll put her A. There's a little bit between B and A, maybe low A. I don't know. All right, so Bazin. For me, I had Bazin at A.
Yes. I think Bazin is A. I think he's a low A for me. There's two specific interactions with Bazin, which like for me put him over the top. So one is the interaction with Necrolich. Sorry, we should talk about his stats, I guess. Like Bazin's like got a great aura pool. He's got a solid health, like not quite as good, like 19. Actually, he's
solid health. He has terrible health. Yeah, what are you talking about? He's got terrible health and amazing aura, and his ability is very powerful. And he's basically riding on 2 cards right now, which is Necrolich and Emergent Worm. And Chronowalker, I guess that makes 3. All 6 chi summons that really benefit from his, diagonal summoning. And he's basically the one of the better summoners we can think of because of his synergy with those cards.
Yeah, so one is the Necrolich Alem interaction where Bazin is the only champion who can summon Necrolich on a diagonal, Alem behind that Necrolich, so then he gets to draw off a Necrolich, which is a great interaction.
Off of Alem.
Yeah, sorry, off the Necrolich. And then the other Necrolich interaction for a more aggressive slant is like Necrolich bringing back a Blood Rakshasa, for example, for like without paying any health, getting a 4/4 attacker, and you can put that in front of the Necrolich. And then the other one is Emergent Worm / Chronowalker, just those quick beckons. We've talked in our Bazin video about how much of the board.
I will say there's a chance Bazin kind of drops a B, but the second that another cheap quick beckon is printed, I think that would catapult him up to high A, maybe even higher than that.
Yeah, because Warp is a solid new Axon movement we saw pop up with this with Origins, and if we get like a 4 chi or even just a 5 chi, another quick beckon that with like some solid stuff, then Bazin gets to play a really weird summoner, just kind of sits back, and then the moment we try to hit him, they summon something at quick speed and then warp away from it. so you can almost never hit them if they've got cards in hand. So
Yep.
it's interesting stuff at Bazin.
Yep.
But yeah.
And then next up is Cato.
All right, Cato. So, oh geez, what's not to like about Cato? So 21 health. So 2 more.
Where do you have him? Where do you have him?
Oh right, yeah, A tier for me.
A tier. Yep. I have also at A.
Yeah, it's just kind of his stats and affiliation. So 21 health, 135 aura, 1 energy, and a swift speed, 2 damage attack in the standard forward awareness.
2 damage cast.
2 damage cast that does earth damage if that's relevant. And then an Axon and Thymos colors, which are 2 very, very strong colors that we've seen being the majority of decks before Origins came out. Or rather, being some of the stronger cards in the decks before Origins came out. Is what I'm trying to say there. And then and now they're together. So like those stats are enough to get in there. And then that Force Warp saying, you can never come at me from the front. I will always be able to defend that as long as I have either cards in the timeline or just 5 aura. Yeah, that's enough for Cato to kind of.
And it'll be 4 cards because he does have that energy reduction. But yeah, I mean, basically, Cato. You say Cato, I say Cato. That's fine. Good stats, strong affiliations, very powerful ability. It's hard for me to see him not being having a strong deck out there at some point.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, it might just be because he can't do anything specific is the only reason. Like that maybe he's not like guiding you into a certain direction specifically.
Yeah, so there's gonna be some time for someone to find a great deck because there's so many options to choose from. But once it's found, that too. All right, so Ericka. So I have Ericka at the C tier.
Where is Ericka? Yeah, Ericka is C tier for me as well.
I mean, basically, she does have a massive aura pool, but her low health really sets her back. And if we compare to someone like Nubia, she's like drawing a Baihu every turn, while Nubia's drawing a card every turn. So they're similar in that regard, but Nubia is, I think, a lot stronger in that case. So Ericka just doesn't really have, I think, the tools to kind of overcome that low health. You have to run like healing with her, and then you're not using your resources like your cards and your aura to actually affect the board as much. So it's just a little weak overall. I do think she could have some solid tier 3 decks out there. Ericka Landslide comes to mind, but I don't think she's going to be that strong overall.
Yeah, Ericka always having access to a threat is great, and actually makes her, in my head, the better heal champion than Long, who literally has a healing ability. Because like if you want to put heal cards in your deck for like healing summons, the important part is to always have a threat that you can heal, and Ericka solves that problem. So if you want to build a heal deck, I'd actually suggest going down the Ericka route to start.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, so now we have Essa, the fighteriest fighter. Where do you have Essa?
So this might just be what's it called? Kind of like me just being wowed by like the game-breaking new ground. But I put Essa at S tier because of that 3 energy. It kind of 3 energy reduction. Because it kind of like really recontextualizes like some of the already strong cards we've seen in Thymos, the strong energy cards, and the new strong energy cards.
Yeah, I mean 3 energy is very strong, but I do think I have her a B. So just because I think as a fighter with only 22 health and no way of getting any card advantage in their colors, there is like the repurpose combo, but like Essa does not have the aura to really run something like that. So while they can go long because you're going to put a lot of energy cards in your deck and then get that massive reduction, I don't think Essa is going to be all the way at S tier. Like S tier is overpowered for me, so I'm not going to put Essa at overpowered.
That's reasonable.
But yeah, she's definitely really strong, and the fact that Essa can go long means that maybe they're better than I think. So we can put Essa at A.
Yeah,
Split the
that bash
difference.
trigger also is also like a key part of it. Like no one uses strikes like the Earth strike of the strike cycle like Essa is. But yeah, I guess where's that land as A maybe?
Yeah, we can just kind of leave them at A for now.
Yeah, I think you're right. She's not going to be, or sorry, Essa is not going to be defining meta, so probably S tier isn't correct.
All right, up next is Feng. All right. I have Feng at B.
I also had Feng at B.
All right.
So Feng is one of those champions that just kind of weirdly only had one ability. Super weird. But no, yeah, she's like 25 health, great health. 90 aura, reasonable for a fighter, and then the 2 energy that is like almost part of one for Bellum, one for Thymus, 2 energy. And then the swift fire attack too. Like that's all solid stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like there are other champions that are kind of doing similar things, but having a little bit more on top, right? Is kind of a problem.
Yeah, I think your point of there being only one ability is kind of is good and kind of signifies why we don't see her that much, because she's just a fighter, kind of almost like a boring fighter-esque type character with some good stats, and you can put some good cards with her like Odra Tiger and Purifying Wave and stuff like that, bolt shots, but that's all she really has. Like you don't really want to use that ability, you want to hit them, right?
Yeah, right, because like in order for preventing 1 damage to be relevant, you kind of need someone to have a high health pool, so that like instead of taking 2 hits to kill, that just getting 1 more health puts it into like 3 hits to kill it range. Except she doesn't have an aura pool to support support the high health summon. So it's just kind of like just weird. Don't really know what direction that second ability is supposed to go.
Yeah, but all right. So Feng at B. Next up we have Iblis. So let's see. What do you have Iblis at?
Iblis is firmly A tier for me. I think even like 26 health is pushing the edge of known already. Like we're already like in a top tier of health. And then on top of that, the damage reduction, right? That damage resistance, anything that deals damage, so it's anything except basically drain effects that cause health loss, is reduced by 1. So like, what is our effective HP? Like if it's trying to do like lots of little points of damage, like her health is like an effective like 35 or higher.
Yeah, it might be. It really depends, right? If all your damage sources deal 3 damage, then that means she has effective HP of 39, so 50% higher. And I think like you'd actually be surprised at how many decks are kind of based around that 3 damage point, right? Like we do see stuff like there is sub strikes and bolt shots, but a lot of it is like just summons attacking or tsunamis, and now college shots as well, kind of based around that 3 damage threshold, and just champion attacks as well. And so just based on that, that's 50%. Like, and then if you're a swarm deck, you do no damage.
Yes, there's so many strategies that Iblis kind of invalidates the game 1 of. Like you have to sideboard out of.
Yeah. That being said, I do have to say I put Iblis at B, and the reason I felt it was B was that she has so many very glaring weaknesses, right? Like A is just overall strong, and B has like good decks that can play well, but has glaring weaknesses, and that's why I put her there. However, because she can warp the meta so much, if she becomes really strong, it's possible she can bump up to A, right?
Yeah, she can also be the perfect predator for a meta, right? If you like, you kind of see what everyone at your LGS is bringing, and they're all like all these like smaller damage, longer game stuff, then like you can just be like, okay, well, everyone's playing Vegeta's, well, Iblis is gonna come and then just get all these free game 1 wins, which is like.
Well, and or Kunn Burst, like, right? Kunn Burst is the best deck right now, probably. And I think she counters that because they just don't have the cards to kill her. So I think that can really depend on the meta. She's definitely meta dependent. So we'll have to see. But yeah, her biggest weakness would be like big creature summoner decks that can kind of like weigh her down over time. But all right. Yeah, we can. I could put her at A, low A, high B. I guess it really depends. She's very meta dependent.
Yes, but I think because of that, I think it that makes her A or like an A star or something.
Yeah. All right. So next up we have Idiris. Just offending so many people by pronouncing her name properly. So I have Idiris at S tier.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, she was. I was going back and forth an A. Like she's like very, very high in A. I eventually settled on A, but I'm more than happy to have her in S. I mean, just looking at her, solid health pool, solid aura pool, no energy, but an action speed attack that hits from anywhere on the battlefield. Kind of like, it's. I mean, I guess that is what puts it into S. Like, S
Fireball is broken, and S tier is for broken champs. So, it's just like, you basically guarantee that the game is going to end no matter what position they go in or plays they make. The game's going to end, right? And they forces them to either pack some healing, which isn't very popular or even that good to run, or try to kill you faster. And most decks can't kill as fast as Idris Blitz, right? So I do think Idris Blitz is going to be still top tier, and it's you had to massively adjust your deck just to try to compete with it.
Yeah. So happy S tier Idiris.
All right. Kasha.
I love Kasha. I love all the fun that Kasha is going to create with a draw break for me personally, but like it's a slower deck archetype, and despite her, I mean, solid health and really good aura pool, the low energy, and only the action speed attack, I've got to put her in B, as much as I love her.
Yeah, I think B is pretty good, is a good spot. And I agree, right? Like, B has some pretty obvious weaknesses, right? The action attack, or it's not even an attack, can't even hit alterations. And the no energy reduction. So she's kind of playing, and she really has to rely on Drawbreak, which is a very powerful card, but to play that like kind of control style summoner / mage, she can be pretty reliant on getting the right cards in her opening hand. So I think B is a good. That being said, if she gets like 2 Drawbreaks and a bunch of like Blood Rakshasas,
it can feel.
If she gets a good hand opening, because she can control the Drawbreaks better than anyone, and she can kind of draw better than Nubia if given the right set of circumstances, which would catapult her. The perfect draws. Her deck might be an S tier, but like I think overall, like it's not going to be that great. So
if Iblis, if Iblis slows the game down, and that might make a little hole Kasha to carve out her literal section of the meta, because Blood Rakshasa, that's a 4 damage attack on a 4 health summon in the 5 chi slot. So that's a solid. That's where we start thinking that we've got a plan against Iblis, and like Kasha can play Blood Rakshasa better than anyone.
Yep, that's a good point. Except the 2 health. All right, so up next we have Kendra. All right, so Kendra gets a award for being our first Odara tier.
Yes, unfortunately in the Odara tier.
All right, low health, bad ability. Not much to say else.
It's just the ability is unfortunately like kind of fighting itself, because like her health is too low to be in the mix of things to get that action Urim. Origins just added movement, much more movement to the game, which is a good change, to be clear, not a downside. We needed more solid movement in the game to make the games a bit more interactive and back and forthy.
Agreed.
But I mean, the yeah, like just exerting and 10 aura and action speed, like to discard 2 cards when the game is already a little fast right now to start. Is like by the time Kendra is in a safe place to do it, it's very like you might be in a spot where they're already down to 1 card already.
Yeah, exactly. So real big ask. But anyway, we don't need to spend too much time on the Dara tier members. Korr, what do we have? Korr. I have Korr. Oh yeah, you go. What do you have?
We go? Okay, yeah, sure. Korr firm A tier.
Yep.
We've seen what Korr can do. Korr is not a stranger to the competitive decks, to competitive deck building. We've got 1 energy in an affiliation pairing blue purple that like has to fight a little bit more to get that energy. A swift dark attack 2 with a standard forward awareness, 25 health, that's a good amount of health, and 120 aura, solid. We'd love a bit more, of course, but that's solid aura. And then a card draw ability, which can either be used on your opponent's stuff, or we've already seen the Call to the Bone synergy of Mobius to just eat a third of a card to draw a new card.
Yeah.
Like, that's not
exactly. Solid. I think, despite his success in tournaments, he does require, really proper play as opposed to some of these S tier champions, right? You need to play well with.
Harder guy to play.
Yeah. And I think that is kind of keeping him from the S tier. Because you have to plan around your Mobius, you have to, know how to like properly, efficiently use your cards, right?
Yeah,
because you don't have infinite deck. Exactly, more of a control deck. You don't have that infinite aura like some of these others that can just play every card you want. But he's got some flexibility.
Just as a control deck, he's a best answer to a stagnant meta. Like you can probably find a way to build Korr to answer a stagnant meta.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, so next up we have Kunn. All right, so Kunn, can we go above S?
We have Odara tier.
Yeah.
Kunn tier.
Actually though. And we control this tier list, so we can do whatever we want. But yeah, Kunn is our S plus Kunn tier. He's on our Kunn tier. Yeah, he's the strongest champion in the game right now. He's completely overpowered. He completely invalidates a lot of cards and champions.
And the grid, the arena grid.
Exactly, the battlefield of the arena itself.
Yeah, like all the other champions play in a grid which is 2-dimensional. Kunn only cares about the distance between him and the opposing champion, because like dash is good. It's a combination of flight and dash which makes Kunn nuts, because
you can't block him off from anything. He's always going to be able to get on you. So he's
behind you.
And behind, exactly. He's kind of like an anti-summoner fighter, and then he's an anti, mage fighter and an anti-fighter fighter. Anyway, and actually, if you look here, Kunn and Idiris both ignore a lot of the map, right? They kind of both invalidate the arena itself. And they're also both S tier, so funny about how that works, right?
Yeah. Also, like if you're not familiar with Kunn, the action speed on that heavy holy attack is kind of like, when you can already move and you don't need to worry about positions and moving around things. 2 moves and 1 rotation is a lot of the time enough to get an action speed heavy holy attack.
Yeah, exactly, and it's also means that all of his action cards in his hand are basically like swift speed, right? Because he can double move. Like they can double move and still play that. So even if you try to swarm him, you can still tsunami you very effectively.
Yeah, no, that's exactly where I was going. He's a big reason why some decks don't see as much play anymore, is because he can always move. Like moving twice and rotating once is 90% of what you need, 99% of what you need to get a good tsunami off, because of that 2x3 like huge awareness. So
all right, anyway,
he's too good.
He's too good. Agreed. All right, we have Long.
Long. I mean, we got to be C tier for me for Long because
right next to Ericka right now.
Right, yeah, right next to Ericka, who I think does a better heal version of the heal deck than like that's my personal opinion. Is that Ericka does it better? It's just like giving up your champion's ability to attack to heal something for 2 is not it's not an equal transaction. There's certainly some ways where that can be good. I mean, like buffing a single large summon, but then if you want to buff a single large summon to a high amount of health, I mean, 100 aura is like we're in the range where we can play some of those high aura summons.
But it's weird being a summoner with like lowish aura, and he's not a fighter. If he had 1 energy reduction, like I could bump him up to like almost A, probably high B with 1 energy reduction.
Yeah, absolutely, because Bellum and Thymos cards are typically a little bit of energy because Bellum and Thymos champions usually have energy. So Long is kind of having to pay the iron price.
Exactly. Like look at Feng. We put Feng at B, and Long actually has 2 abilities, right? Anyway, C tier.
I mean, yeah, C tier.
All right, Malik.
Malik.
All right, so I mean, I have Malik at the C tier.
For me, Malik, I've put him in Odara.
Okay, Odara. All right.
Yeah, maybe there's something to figure out here because he does have the highest health in the game, right? I don't think is even anyone tied.
Not well. I mean, no, not for the numerically wise. No.
Yeah.
Long is actually the second closest. Yeah.
Yeah. So highest health in the game. Maybe there's something to figure out because brought in some great new chaos. So it's purple cards, which cost health. So maybe there's something there, but yeah, like 1 energy and 80 just isn't, and then just a basic attack of 2 that you'll be using most of the time isn't really enough for me to pop him even into C tier.
Yeah.
Heavy attack 4, movement got a lot better, so action, speed, attacks got a lot worse, and this one even costs you.
And then paying 2 life
up front. Yeah.
Yikes.
2 health up front. Like if it was part of the ability, like if that was like I don't know a cast, I guess that did 4 damage, 4 heavy damage, and then like if it connects, you lose 2 health. But the fact that you're paying it, and then they can just like play an Oten and then move, and then you just like spend your turn moving once, maybe summoning something with your 80 aura pool, probably not, and then hitting yourself for 2. Like it's like oh
yeah. You sold me. I think he's a Odara tier. Yeah, he's not good. Like his 30 health is like something that's that made me want to put him at C originally, but yeah, like that's not going to be enough when he can't do too much else.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is Manot. So Manot, I have Manot at the C tier.
Yeah, so I love Manot. I think Manot is a champion that can do some really cool things, especially with traps, because if you're not familiar with the trap alteration kind of subtype, they all care about occupied spots for placing things, and that Ice Wall is just a super cool ability at action speed, which had to be action speed. You can't upgrade that to Swift. It would break the game. She would be maybe not S tier specifically because of Kunn, but she would be in A tier if Ice Wall was Swift speed.
Yeah.
But yeah, she can do some really super cool stuff with traps. I feel that like all we need is one set with like a really interesting trap like Zenith Pulse, which is already super cool. And then Manot gets bumped up to B or maybe A. But right now, when her premier ability, which is kind of like recontextualizing the game, shaking up as lots of Origins cards do, is directly answered by the best deck people are already playing, you can't put her above.
Yeah, I mean, answered is putting it lightly. Completely and utterly nullified to the point where she doesn't do anything. It's just, yeah, she, like, what is she even doing, right? Like, you can't play her if Kunn is played it anyway, because then her ability just does nothing. And in fact, like, any deck you build for Manot right now, you would just swap Kunn and the deck would be better.
Oh, yeah, it's so mean to put it that way. So right. Oh no, why? That's because yeah, Kunn could like I mean potentially like also use Zenith pulses to pull things.
It wouldn't even matter, like yeah, right? Like the deck might not be tailor made to Kunn, it would still be better.
Yeah.
The reason she is C is because I do believe that you could make a decent deck with her that would crush some of these Odara decks, but overall it's just like I mean she might be even below Odara because there's literally no point to making a deck with her yet until Kunn gets, I don't know, removed in some way. But
I mean I like Zenith Pulse enough that I might build one for fun, like for clearly
what's
for
that
fun.
What's that? What? Fun?
What? For fun. Yeah.
I don't know. What?
Oh, I get it. Yeah, sorry. I apologize for bringing up the F word, Eric. I'll try to do that again.
Oh, we should add another tier below Odara. It's the fun tier.
I think fun can be above Odara tier. I don't think Odara has the fun aspect to her. So does Odara really go above fun? I don't know. Anyway, let's keep it square.
Yeah. All right, another one. Nubia, what do you got? Where you got Nubia?
Okay, Nubia. Hard to, but probably a B. No, S. Obviously S. Like Nubia is another champion that just kind of changes the rules, right? Like you're drawing 2 cards a turn. If there's any deck that is doing a silly synergy that requires consistency of card, you're gonna like Nubia is always a great place to start. And then of course, like she's in Axon, which is already the so like if we're talking about Epiphany and the broken Axon draw cards, if Nubia with 4 Epiphanies versus Kunn with 4 Epiphanies, not saying this makes Nubia stronger than Kunn. She's going to see more Epiphanies per game on average. So
I agree. I think
a rating S/A.
I mean I heard S. Like she's incredibly strong. I don't think she's as good as Kunn right now.
Absolutely.
But very strong. Just drawing twice as many cards as everyone else and having the aura to support it means that she's good.
150 aura. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned it. Like, like actually always sounds way like meaner or sarcastic than it is. But it's like, thanks for bringing that up because 150 aura is enough aura to actually play all the cards you're drawing.
Yeah, and so like Nubia is another example where you would just, if you make a deck for Manot, you would just take Manot out, put Nubia, and the deck is better, right? Like
yes. That I think I can get behind that.
Yeah, like maybe a little bit different than Kunn because Nubia does have the aura. You probably wouldn't mind making a deck similar to Manot, but I think Nubia is just really strong, and not much to say about that. S tier.
So where do we end up? S. Yeah.
S.
Cool.
All right, Odara. Well, where do we put Odara?
Controversial, but I think C tier. No, we named a tier after.
It's her own tier. We'll put her right next to her name, Odara.
Yeah. So there's just like an unfortunate like mismatch, I think, with Odara because her it's just her spur ability. Once you do have summons that have a higher health pool, so that they can have the spur and then attack once or attack multiple times in a turn, but like that's not free. Like she has the awareness to make the spur worse, but it's like she doesn't have the aura to summon the high health summons that you need to support the spur.
Yeah, kind of like the issue with Long, where they're both kind of summoners that don't really have the aura pool to be summoners. And with Odara, you're basically trading your turn for your summon's turn. So you need to be a summoner where you're summoning like one strong thing, and if that thing's really strong, then that means it probably is high chi, and if it's high chi, it's going to be hard for it to get to your deck, or get into your hand, I should say, because you're not going to be able to put too many in your deck. And then if you don't put that many in your deck, you might not draw it, and if you don't draw it, then you can't use their ability effectively.
Yeah, it's almost mean how this worked out, because like we were just talking about Nubia, right? who can draw more cards and then has aura to play all the aura they want, and then Odara, who has to play a high health summon. So not even any card. Like to maximize Odara, you need to play specifically high aura summons so that you can spur them. But she doesn't get the aura to do it, whereas Nubia gets the aura to do anything that she's drawing. It's almost mean. But yeah.
All right, enough ragging on her. Qureen. All right, where do you have Qureen?
So this is Schrodinger's champion. So Qureen is, I think, anywhere S to B. Probably not correct to put her in S. I could definitely see her getting to S. All it needs is just one kind of silly interaction with her. She also can be a meta champion because like any ability on the summon that could answer like the way a meta is leaning, Qureen can just like put that onto her, and then she has access to it for one round.
I kind of agree. I think I put her as A, but we can say she's a sab champion. She's very like her stats are too good to not have a good deck around her. Kind of like Cato, where great stats, great affiliations, really cool, unique ability. It's just gonna take a while to find the right deck for her. So like right now we're saying A, because we think that that deck is gonna be very good. But you know, it's possible that she's a B because its interactions aren't good enough. It's also possible that she's an S because a broken interaction gets found. So we're gonna kind of stick with an A.
Yeah, and like every new summon that gets printed in every set in either Jalara, Axon, or Thymos, like you just gotta do that mental check, right? When you're going through spoiler season. Okay, wait, what does this look like on Qureen? Okay, nothing silly here. Okay, next one. Like you just gotta do that.
That's true. That's true.
And then I
feel like this card single-handedly makes the designers do twice as much work.
Yes, yeah. When they're designing cards, they're gonna have to do it more. I feel there's one more thing I wanted to mention.
All right. Well, you can mention about Raha. So Raha, I have Raha at the C tier.
Raha C tier for me as well.
Yeah. Kind of similar to Manot.
Yeah.
I think in that the same affiliations have some good cards. Her stats and abilities just aren't up to snuff.
Yeah,
especially compared to Kunn and Nubia.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kunn's actually a great comparison to Raha because Raha's awareness is nuts. Like it's actually nuts. And that's not trivial. But if you look at Kunn, because of Kunn's dash combined with the flight, one movement and one rotation, like imagine trying to convert Kunn into a normal champion without flight and dash, and what his awareness would look like to hit the same spots. It's probably Raha's or better.
Yeah, exactly.
So like Kunn is basically Raha, but with more aura and more health, and just not having an area attack. But that's okay because you have access to 2 movements and a rotation and then playing. You'd
actually need to have add another row to Kunn's awareness, where he has a tsunami plus 1 in front of him. If you wanted to get that way. So it would be like Raha's, but like 1 more front awareness in front of her, right? That just to kind of symbolize how crazy it is.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Next up is Rayne.
Rayne. So I have Rayne in C tier.
All right. And I've got Rayne in the Odara tier.
Yeah, so I think the only reason Ray is in C for me is because fundamentally teleporting is always going to be a silly thing, like moving from a space to almost any space, right? It can't be in, well, it's not in something's awareness, so it's kind of hopping from shadow to shadow.
Yep.
So that's like that is why I think Rayne is in C for me. She's kind of it's like a check, right? It's kind of like it's like how Nubia is like if there's 2-card synergy that just needs a bit of consistency, you should check it in Nubia. It's like if there's any like unload on the opponent in a single turn, OTK, or dare I say it, rock, so round 1 kill, ROK or OTK 1 turn kill deck. it's always worth checking it with Rayne just to see if drawing a whole bunch of cards, discarding the low chi ones to get the perfect movement, and then bam, bam, bam.
I mean, that's fair.
That's the only reason she's in C.
But
she causes a check.
The reason why I think she's in Odara is because she only has the OTK, and after the Epiphany restriction, she literally doesn't have a deck that's playable. And I don't think there will be one. You really need to kill your opponent fast. Like, you can't really engage in like a long fight. And so you needed to just use your ability to just kind of jump on someone and kill them, and your ability to do that severely nerfed after that. So yeah, I just don't see her being anywhere playable without like an OTK deck.
Yeah, and yeah, not just to be clear, like maybe even Epiphany based OTK isn't even enough anymore because of Aura, which is a solid card.
Exactly.
But it's gonna punish you for your active abilities that draw cards. Like,
yeah, that's a great point. She might be worse than Odara at this point.
Okay, let's not go crazy here. No, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a great point in that if there was a Rayne OTK deck that was anywhere close to playable, Aura Purge would just come in and just shut it down completely, and it wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, you need your draw bakes or your Alim style card draw, which won't work as well in OTK. Yeah.
All right, so now we have Sara. So I have Sara joining Rayne and Odara in the Odara tier.
I had Sara in the C tier, but I think that's because I like Sara.
Oh, you're so generous.
No, I want her to be C. She's probably Odara tier.
I mean,
she has all the things I want from the game, right? It's just, but her health is as kind of low. I mean, more than kind of low. Health is low. That is a concession to her drain attack, which she can use on her own champion. So there's nothing there.
Yeah, I mean, saying you can use your drain attack on your own summons is like saying, oh, I know you're broke, but maybe you could pick up some change on the side of the sidewalk. Or something.
Yes.
It's just like, if you look at Kendra, right? Like, we put Kendra here. They have similar HP, similar aura. I do think Sara has a better ability, and obviously a better attack. So I would actually put her slightly above Kendra. But that ability is so reliant on your opponent playing summons. And yeah, your summons can kill your own summons to gain life. But yeah, it's like. But again, now, so maybe you found $1. All right, congrats, right? It's like, yeah, you're making molehills out of molehills. Like, I don't know, you're not really doing too much.
Yeah, so no, Sara could be Odara tier, and I'll be sad.
Yeah, I just don't see her working.
It's everything I want the game to be about, but it's not what the game is about right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you want magical chess, and instead we have
I do
magical. I don't know, something else, I guess. Anyway, all right, move on to Shoon. All right. So where do you have Shoon?
So Shoon, I put in B tier. I think based off his stats, like, yes, that Bloodthirst is like the only negative ability on a champion in the game. But like, awareness is great. Energy is great. Health is okay. Maybe I'd like it to be a bit higher. And aura is reasonable for a fighter. Sorry, Swift Speed 3 damage attack. Sorry, we should mention that, right? Like, that doesn't pop up very often. And combining that with that awareness, not only do you have Swift 3, you've got Swift 3 to, 75% of your adjacent spaces.
Yeah, I mean, we found a champion with a worse ability than Feng. That's crazy. Anyway, so I actually put Shoon in the C tier originally. Yeah, I do think he's a lot better than Malik. I don't know. Sell me on him not being C tier, I guess.
Okay.
I know he's got the awareness. I know he's got powerful 3 attack, but like the low health and the bloodthirst, like, how does he overcome that?
I think the 2 energy and all the sweet movement tech is maybe he's like right on the edge of B and C. I'm hoping that, like, the sweet new movement, the diving jukes. Hey, but Shoon is on the art of. like that is enough to get him into B. So I feel like free attack at Swift speed with that awareness shouldn't be ignored.
Yeah. All right. So you got the energy doctrine, you got Swift speed attack, and you also have diving jukes. I think diving jukes can single-handedly make him like a B minus.
Yeah, and I think he's also a champion that can step into a meta that's maybe being warped by Iblis, right? If Iblis causes people to bring more big summons, Swift Speed 3 attack answers a lot of summons that are coming to try and attack you, right?
Yeah, I guess in the drain attack can go through Iblis's.
So he has a little bit of a meta component. Maybe is that the last bit we need to get him into B tier? Just
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll put him in a low B for now. All right. But yeah, I mean, it also does kind of replace Malik as kind of the affiliation fighter. All right, so you have Suttir.
All right, so Suttir is another interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, I had Suttir at B.
Yeah, and then I mean, I have Suttir up to B. Just kind of learning more about the game, which is like kind of a sweet reason to be moving things, right? Like the best part of being wrong is you get to learn something rather. The best part of being wrong is something.
What were we wrong about? What was it?
Well, basically the interaction with dash and reinforcement to make kind of pseudo blitz creatures, obviously not as good as blitz, but kind of this is where like actually playing the cards and testing the decks is the best way to learn, right?
Yeah.
Dash plus Suttir does a lot of work, and yeah, that's it. That's kind
fair
of
enough.
Tweet.
I guess to clarify, we put Suttir at C, right?
In our Saturday earlier video that unfortunately we didn't.
Yeah, that didn't get recorded. And then we got new information, and now Suttir is a B tier hero.
Yeah, at least B. Like we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. I do think she's fine. I guess she does something very interesting. So if you can make that consistent with also presenting a decent deck, then yeah, like
whether Suttir spiking tournaments, I can definitely see like you kind of high roll the variance. If Genesis ever gets to the point where we're seeing like multi-day 8-round events, all with constructed, those huge kind of style events, like over 100 players in a single event, like maybe the consistency of reinforcements, like just with like 60% summons, maybe that's not enough. Like how often do you need reinforcements to trigger for Suttir's consistency to go there? Like it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and that's why I think Suttir, I don't know if she can really go that far above B because she has got such a glaring weakness in deck building, in that you have to play summons, that it's going to be very tough to kind of get up there because there's just certain cards you like won't be able to like fit it, which is kind of unfortunate.
I will note there's a secret like kind of synergy that Suttir has with herself, which is where like playing a summon fundamentally, I mean, unless you're playing against Kunn, lengthens the game, right? Which gives you more rounds, it gives you more reinforcement triggers, which gives you another chance to trigger. So it's kind of like there's a little bit of a synergy there in tier where like playing summons makes a longer game, which means you get more rounds, which means you get more reinforcement triggers, which means you can maybe guarantee like you can get through the variance that way. So that's kind of a sweet little part of it.
Interesting thought. Yeah, makes sense. All right, and then finally we have Tashir.
Our final
Tashir. Some people have been waiting for Tashir for weeks.
Yeah, but yeah, no, not to worry. Our Tashir video, I guess, is it tomorrow from perspective of this recording.
Yeah. I mean, we might post this today.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. So maybe. In that case, yeah. So Monday,
who knows?
I guess in the PM, probably is when that Tashir video is going to go up. I like Tashir. Tashir is B. B. I think the stats are there. We've got that Bellum Thymos 2 energy that we're familiar with, reasonable health at 22, 90 aura on the low side, but then that awareness and then both a swift and a heavy damage attack, which that kind of like how Kunn's heavy attack feels almost like a swift because of his dash. Tashir's heavy earth attack 3 is also going to kind of feel like a weird swift because with that awareness, like one move and one rotate hits so much of the board.
Yeah, you'll see that. You'll
yes,
see.
we demonstrated in our videos. That'll be a good one to check to see. Like
yeah,
it's
very eye-opening. It's one of those things where even if you know that it's true, you don't realize how big it is until you actually see it for yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So this is our tier list. We're pretty confident that we believe that this is what it is. We're confident that we believe it. Whether it's true or no is up for, I guess, everyone else to decide, right? Like, we're very curious to see how the meta, handles itself, and I'm looking forward to coming back after the championship and seeing what evolved, what changed.
I'd love to see this get shaken up. Like, I would love to see stuff shift up and down. That'd be great. Can we get an
Odara champion in the S tier by the championship?
That would be impressive. If that gets pulled off, then maybe there's something to be worried about.
I would say Kasha or Tashir, I think, are the most likely champions to go to S tier from B.
Okay.
I don't think they will, but I don't know. I could see something like that. And then for the A, I would see like maybe Alta, Cato, Iblis, Korr, Qureen. I could also I could see almost any of the A tiers going into S.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. Some of them just need one card print.
Yeah.
And then they're like firmly in doing something silly.
Exactly. But yeah, please let us know what where your tier list is, and we'll post the link to this tier list and then the empty one, so you make your own. Please, post it wherever you want, what your tier list is going to be. We're curious to see what everyone else thinks.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for joining us for this one. This was kind of a more casual, fun one. Like
yeah, yeah, that's right. I had fun with this.
Well, you said the F word. I made you do it.
People might think I'm a casual now. Okay, anyway, if you're not having fun, then what are you doing, right? In all reality, whatever it is. Go have fun and make your own tier lists, and then let us know what you think.
Bye. Peace.